Hi, my name is Curt Willems, and I'm the current executive director for Casa de Modesto. I've been asked to come and tell you a little bit about my life with regards to community hospice, which started back in 1989 as the director of social services. So my involvement started back, as I say, in 1989. My wife and I were living in Anchorage, Alaska, and I was looking to move back into the Central Valley where my wife and I grew up. And so I was able to find out that there was a position open at Community Hospice, and called Jane Merrill at the time, the executive director, and she interviewed me over the phone and brought me on. She actually offered the job to me over the phone, and I accepted and was with Community Hospice for 6 years. I continue to support Community Hospice as a fellow nonprofit for one. Being an executive director of a nonprofit here in the Valley, we all need to work together, side by side, and help each other out, you might say. I have also strong feelings about my experiences with Community Hospice from the 6 years that I spent there working, investing my time into the agency, as well as the investment that was put into me in my career. I really appreciated the opportunity to be a part of the learning process that I went through of dealing with grief and loss and death and dying issues. The families that I was involved with, it changed my life, and it caused me to be the person I am today, that is more sensitive to just the whole aging process, which is what brought me to Casa de Modesto, to be honest, working with seniors and dealing with the aging process and helping people live until they die. Probably one of the biggest things that I did to be a part of the building process was develop the Medicare benefit for Community Hospice, and built that into the programming there at hospice. Initially, it wasn't what Mary Jean Corberin had wanted, because she was afraid that we would lose the heart of hospice. Thankfully, I was able to prove to her and Jane Merrill that it wasn't going to be a loss, but it would be an opportunity to expand actually that same heart that hospice has to a larger community that needed our care. One of the things basically that it did for us to bring on Medi-Cal and Medicare hospice benefit was expand our services and get them paid for. Prior to that, we basically did volunteer services and did almost everything through donation. We had a lot of great donors in our community that supported us. It was one of those things that we appreciated the support that we received, but it really limited us to the number of people that we could serve. It limited us to the number of staff that we could have. And we had a handful of nurses, CNAs, that could provide support. And it opened the door to medical equipment. It opened the door to other care and services, ultimately hiring more staff, changed our budget from a few $100,000 up to over a $2 million budget through the time that I was there. So it changed the status of Community Hospice, but I think in a positive way. To share one memory about my experience at Community Hospice is very difficult, because I have a lot of great memories, a lot of positive memories. It was something that was difficult in some senses, but yet the growth aspect that I went through in working with families that were going through the loss of a loved one, the way that I watched children that were going through the death and dying process, how they were able to process, sometimes better than adults. And, you know, to say that there's one specific thing is very difficult. I probably remember one of the greatest things was standing around a bed and holding hands with a whole family as we basically sang together a favorite hymn of that person as they took their last breath. What a great experience to basically sing them into heaven, as they said. And it was a positive experience that probably we'll never forget. Well, initially, the Hope Chest, people would actually talk about, you know, I'm lost, I don't know what to do with my life. And I started thinking that was another part of the Hope Chest idea, was to have them volunteer for us and work with us. It gave them something to do. They could donate the items that they had, as well as be able to work there and touch the lives of others through their own testimony and witness, you might say, of hospice's care. It was a great win-win for everybody. And so the Hope Chest idea and concept was something that went beyond just a thrift shop. It really was a place for people to give. It was a place for people to participate in their life when they felt a loss so strongly in their life. They had a place that they could feel like they actually could give something. It was a powerful thing. Initial concept was really to reach out and touch the community and have them be able to touch the community themselves back, you know, for what hospice did for them. I wish the best for Community Hospice, and I hope for another 40 years, or more actually, that this is definitely a need in people's lives and families' lives as they go through facing their own mortality, as well as the families that have losses, the children that go through losses, the parents that go through losses of young children. There are so many different needs that Community Hospice reaches out and touches the community with. You know, the resolution of providing support where actually it's hard to find it anywhere else. So I just hope that Community Hospice has another great 40 years. My name is Curt Willems, and I am supportive of the Community Hospice idea and Community Hospice here in Modesto, and I wish you the best in the next years to come.